Hi, I'm Lindy Whitten, welcome to the studio. Today I'm just going to do a really quick painting. It's just about 9 inches by 9 inches and I've already chosen my palette for it. It's a field of flowers and with some hills in the distance and a sky. I've chosen to simplify the painting because it's quite small. I don't want to be going back and forth and getting muddled up about what colours I'm going to use. So I've got sky colours, shadows for the clouds, the greenery, the yellow flowers, the ochre and sienna colours I'm going to need in the scrub, white flowers, and in here are some darks that I'll be using to put a bit of punch into it. So by doing that, I've just tested them on a little scrap piece of paper first to see what colours I want. I've got my palette ready and now I'm going to try and do this painting in about 15 minutes just to show you that you don't always have to go big to learn a lot and to practice. And this is how you build your skills up, by daily painting something small, and you'll learn how to get your composition right and how to move quickly forward without thinking too much about it, which is a good way to go. Sometimes I can just overthink it and just over muddy it. Okay, first I'm just going to block in the sky, and you've seen me do this before, where I'm going to just start off with some light colours across the horizon, just work my sky up like that. It's a very quick painting, so let's pop in some more colour. And the sky is sort of coming in, but the clouds make it look like the sky is coming in at an angle, so I'm just going to be putting in my colour in that sort of way. Some darker bits of sky colour there in amongst where the clouds will be. I like the yellow underneath it because it'll give it a little bit of complementary colour to the blue and give it a little bit of suggestion of interest. So a little bit of the cloud formation coming in. I'm trying to be aware that I haven't got a lot of time for this. And then I'm just going to come back in a little bit more strongly with some of the sky colours in amongst there. Just in the direction that I'm trying to suggest the clouds are going. So a little bit of the sky colour peeping through the clouds. Just to make a little bit of interest in the sky. And then there's my sky done. I'm going to put in the distant hills now. I don't want those to be too dark to start with, so we'll just pop them in and go across like this. This is actually in Sardinia, where we had a bit of a holiday last year, and it was just walking down to the local beach sort of in the evening, just beautiful colours coming in everywhere. And there's these mountain ranges in the background. So I'm just putting those in with a deep sort of blue there, and I'll work into that a little bit. Again, not blending with my fingers here, I'm just using the pastel to blend. And the range was quite spiky, so it might look a little bit unnatural, but that is actually what it looked like. I'm not trying to get too fussy with the detail, just to suggest those hills in the background. And that's enough for now for that. Just wiping my hands off as I'm going. Now in this middle distance I've got a bit of a grass, bit of sunlit patch here which I'm putting in, and in between those there were some little houses, so I'm just putting in suggestions of some roofs there. And that will be a yellow with a touch of orange for some of them, just for a little bit of variety, and because the orange will play off well as well against the blues there. So just the touches of the houses there, maybe a little bit couple more here. Okay, so that's giving me my houses. Over to the side there's quite a dark patch of shrubbery there. So I'm just going to put that in with some good strong strokes of dark colours that I'm just pulling out of here, and I'm just using any old dark colours here. I'm not getting too fussed about what I'm using, so just anything there to suggest the darkness of them. I'm also going to go in with this dark back here where the houses are, because it's quite dark back there, and put in some trees sort of in between the houses there and there, and again quite dark. I'll just keep that nice and dark, and I'll just go in with this deep purple, just scrabbling it around the tip of it to make marks like trees back in there, just tree-like marks. And you've got some good contrast there already without much work. I'm just going to pop in a couple of different colours there, some blues, touches of blues, and then I'm going to put a bit of that blue in here. I'm going to make it a little bit spiky up in, oops, spiky tops going into the sky there just to suggest the leaves, individual leaves. So a couple of those and some. But then most of it's just going to be that suggestion of, and those bushes sort of come back here, and it's quite dark back there too. I want to put in a bit of warmth because we're coming forward there, so I'm going to put in some of the ochre, a little bit of the sienna sort of colours over the top of that. And because I'm already putting it over the dark, it's still reading as quite dark. So that's some of the shrubbery there. And back in here, a little bit greener, not too dark a green, maybe more of this sort of green back in that field before the sun really hits it. And I'll put a couple of different shades of green there, and a little patch of lighter green as well. So all these are going in with soft pastels there. So now we've got the background and the tree line, the houses in there, the shrubbery around here, and just going to put in a bit of green. I haven't got much green in this shrubbery. I started off with really dark colours that weren't very green. I'm just putting in a few greens now. I like to get the base of the colour in with something that's not too green. Around here it's all sort of variegated shrubbery, and the base of the shrubbery is quite dark. So I'm going to put that in quite dark with a little scrabbly kind of motion there around the base of those shrubs and those bits of. And then within the whole mass of shrubs with some darker bits, some more shadowy bits. And that's quite colourful but quite dark. Now I want to start putting in the main feature. I've got that bit dirty, so I'm just going to take it out with my putty rubber. So the colour here is going to show through, which is great because the ground's quite sandy there. So we're just going to start putting in some various, there's some lighter green sort of shrubbery stuff back here, grasses, so I'm going to put some of those in this lighter green, but I'll vary it up a bit with some more yellowy green as well. And this is where if you didn't get the right colour out, you're just going to have to improvise. So a little bit of the dark base on this side, and I'm just going to put now some various greens around here. This is where the the daisies are going to be coming through there. And I think these ones are dandelions, but I'm just going to put in the green of the shrub there. And then amongst that, I'll be putting in some other colours, some more greens, but some yellowy colours as well. All yellows here. Right behind me there's a big patch of sort of yellowed off grass, and probably sorrel I think. And here we go, coming through again with that there, and that's all going to go in a little bit more detail. Now the edges there. So this is going to be all a bit browner, so I'm just going to go back with the browner colours through there, and down where the grasses are too, sort of browner at the base of the grasses, and around the edge of where the daisies are going to be, quite dark through there. So I'm getting some layers of colour in there. And I'll just put in some really darker ones here too. Just vary it up a bit. I'm not trying to go exactly how my reference photo is or how I remember this paddock of flowers being, because they're just going to cramp my style. I'm just putting in the basic idea of it because time's flying, and I said I was going to give myself 15 minutes, and I've got about 5 minutes left of that 15 minutes, so just trying to get that in. And I might even put in a little bit of the purple as a bit of a bit of interest there, in the foreground, up through there, back through there. And now I'm going to put in a couple of extra greens, a bit more greeny coming in through there. And as I go over that, I'm sort of laying it in thicker now, and as I go over some of the undercolours I've put in there, it modifies the green and makes it more interesting too. And gives you a lot of variety in the greens without using too many different greens, just by using those underpaintings of darker colours. So here I am going all around, working around, all around here, where my greens are. I'm trying to put in a few lighter bits of green on those shrubby areas too. So going well there. I might even put in a couple of this sort of light grey green here for some, make it a bit darker underneath, just along here. And then just put in those grey greens for the sort of leaves on these shrubs caught in the sunlight with that sort of grey green. So just dabbing those in there. And that gives me another bit of a contrasting texture in it. Now I need to do some work on here, and I'm going to just deepen up around the base again of these masses of where the yellow flowers. Just put some of these other colours through those greens. And they're just short sort of jabby strokes. Okay, so not too green, and it was the evening, so there was quite a bit of muted light there, so I'm just putting some of these nice warmer colours through here, and a few even warmer. Okay, now what I want to do is start putting in the flowers, because I've only got about 3 minutes left, and that was my raising depth through, wasn't it? So I'm going to start with the yellow flowers back here, and I'm just going to dot them all over the place there. Just using the tip on my pastel. There's a few back here too. Back here, I'm just going to give it a jab with the side to simulate sort of more of a field effect without getting so many individual ones. But here, I'm going for masses of individual ones. Minutes left. So now I'm just going to put in the white ones down here on the daisies here. And again, it's not bright, glare in your face white, it's a touch of blue in it. I just want to get a lot of these daisies in. And again, back here, just a suggestion that there could be some in the distance there. But in the front, a little bit of overlap where some of the white ones are growing up amongst the yellow, and a couple of the yellows have escaped into the whites, and then a few more coming over here. And I do need to have some lighter yellows amongst there. You don't want them all to be the same kind of yellow, so I'm just popping in a few lighter coloured yellows and even lighter ones. Touches of light. And down here there's a few little touches of sort of amongst the white there. Especially down in the shadow area, it's more blue than white. And just add a couple of just varying up a bit, and then just for a couple of touches of, I'm going to put in a couple of blue ones, just a couple of blue ones. They weren't in the paddock, but I like the idea of having a few bits of blue amongst that. So I'm just going to pop those in. And right back here, just for the last bit of contrast, I was going to go a couple of the little white ones against that very dark patch there. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of the and just to finish off, and there we have it, a sunny field of flowers on Sardinia. It's a pleasure to paint such a small painting, and the more you do those small paintings, the more practice you'll get and the better you'll get at your painting. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.